So Genos, I see that you got a new pair of arms, huh? Yes, after the last pair were damaged, the doctor was able to make me a new pair almost immediately. Also, Master, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Huh? What is it? How come you never told me you had a child?
Hey yo, what the fuck?
What the hell makes you think I have a kid, Genos? Well, I noticed that there was a bald-headed child following us.
Bruh.
Genos, I think you jumped to conclusions far too easily. Here, and today I'm back with a new video showing off some stuff I got plus a bit of a custom update. I know that I haven't made a proper video in like a few weeks, but now getting back into it, I have a lot of ideas for videos, so I thought I would start off showing a few things that I've gotten and a few things that I've worked on. So with that, let's get into it, starting with Sakura. Now, when it comes to Sakura, there isn't a lot that's really changed about her, as in like the base figure. But one thing that I added to this Sakura figure was a few accessories. And I'll show them on the screen. As you can see, I found out that I had like some extra 3D printed Sakura heads. I'm not sure how I forgot about these, but I didn't want them to go to waste, so I decided to make some alternate heads for Sakura. And for the most part, it was simple enough. There were a few issues, like one of the heads being especially bumpy, and I had to sand it down and everything, but it was pretty easy to do. And for the three expressions that I went with, alongside the neutral smiling head, I went with a serious look, an angry teeth gritting look, and a happy smile, which is probably my favorite. I really like how these came out, especially like the happy smile one. And as you can see, all you have to do is take the head off and replace it with a new one, and it fits on there pretty well. Another thing that was kind of hard to do with the figure was drill into the head itself, since the filament that the heads are made out of are, it's like, you know, it's plastic, but like they dry pretty quickly, so I would have to scrape off the filament every time I dremeled into it, which was kind of annoying, but it was worth it considering how well the heads came out. So pretty simple stuff for Sakura. Next, let's go with Zoro. And as you can see, this is the Anime Heroes Roronoa Zoro. And I have to say, for the most part, it looks pretty good. I really like how the head looks. Oh, that's fine. I really like how the head looks. It looks pretty accurate to how Zoro looks. I like the details, like the earrings. And the robe itself looks pretty good as well. They did a really good job like capturing how Zoro looks. But when it comes to like articulation and accessories, that's where the figure kind of lacks. Let's go over accessories first. He comes with an alternate pair of hands, which are just fists, and most of the time you probably will be using these gripping hands. And he also comes with his 3 swords, which I forgot the name of. And for the most part, they look pretty good, but the problem is that they're really like gummy and flimsy. I'll show a video on the screen showing how flimsy they are, and it just doesn't really work. That, and they look a bit too small. So I decided to replace those with some Marvel Legend katanas that actually look pretty well, as you can see. I am probably gonna like customize them to make them look like Zoro's katanas, but as of now, they work pretty well. And for the articulation, when it comes to the upper part of the figure, it actually works pretty well. If I can get the camera to focus. There we go. So the head is pretty simple. As you can see, it can swivel side to side and can kind of go up and down a bit. The arms can go out pretty far. They can go, the joints are kind of tight. They can go all the way in 360. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and a wrist swivel in the hinge. The waist can crunch just barely, and it can go back pretty far. As you can see, there's some gappage, and he does have a waist swivel. But when it comes to this lower part, since this is made out of a somewhat like hard plastic, if you do try to move the legs, they aren't going to move out that much, so you can't really pose the legs around. You can like get them out to the side, and if you do that somewhat, you can get some like pretty good poses, I guess. But yeah, the legs are incredibly limited because of this hard plastic. So overall, I say it's a good figure in terms of the sculpting and the paint. But when it comes to the accessories, mostly the swords and the articulation, that's where it lags a bit. But it's not too bad. I still like the fact that I got this figure because my brother actually got it at GameStop. And I think if I customize it a bit, I can make it a bit better. So yeah, now give me a sec to put everything back up, and then we'll go on to the avatar. And now, next up we have the avatar Aang. And as probably a lot of you know, this is the best action Aang from Loyal Subjects. I have to say, this is really good. Funny story, I actually pre-ordered this a while ago, and as far as I know, the pre-order said that it would come out in May. But I saw that a lot of people were getting it at Target early, so I decided to cancel my pre-order and try and find one at Target. I did end up finding two, actually, which was kind of surprising because most of the time when I try and find stuff like this, they're always sold out, like Edward. I'm still mad about that. Anyway, I was really happy to get this guy because it's actually pretty good. There are a few issues that people have pointed out, and I'll definitely point them out here. But if we're just going off how the figure looks, again, looks really good. This is probably like the most accurate Aang that we've gotten in action figure form. And I really like how the head turned out, at least the neutral head he comes with. I know a lot of people were saying that it looks too big, but I think it's pretty good for the most part. It doesn't look too big on Aang. But I guess if I think the reason why people are saying that is because of this cloak. That's like the biggest problem with the figure. The cloak is made out of a flexible yet like durable plastic. So while you can move it around, the way it sits on Aang makes him look kind of hunchback. You can try and like fix this, but it just doesn't look right. And it does kind of get in the way in the posing. I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, again, probably the most accurate Aang we've gotten so far. As you can see, the little leg sleeves are actually wrapped around his legs like they are in the show. I was really surprised that they added that in. And there's not much to say, but it's pretty good. Sakura, why? For accessories, he actually comes with quite a bit, more than most Marvel Legends. He comes with, like I said, the neutral head, and he also comes with a smiling head and an avatar stay head. I know a lot of people have a problem with the smiling head as well, and I think that's because the cheeks stick out a bit much. Like, you know, when you smile and your cheeks kind of like perk up. I think they made it a bit too noticeable, like a bit too big, so it kind of sticks out more on Aang. But that's just me. He also comes with alternate hands. As you can see, he comes with two pairs of gripping hands, a pair of neutral hands, but they're kind of posed in like this, I want to say, airbending style. And he comes with a pair of avatar state hands, which is one fist and a boy hand. So it's not too bad. And you also get the staff, as you can see. And you also get a little Momo, which is actually pretty cute. For articulation, the head can move around pretty much any way you want. It is on a ball peg like that, so there's no real articulation in the neck, but you are able to make him look up just a bit, look down just a bit, and pretty much move his head all around. You do also get some tilt. His arms can move out to the side, and as you can see, the cloak just makes it look awkward. A lot of people were saying that makes him look hunchback, and it definitely does. But it's but if you decide to take it off, it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, his arms can move out, they can move forward, back. There is a butterfly joint, as you can see. You see how this cloak is a problem. There we go. So yeah, you can see that there is a butterfly joint in there. He has a bicep swivel. It is a bit flimsy, as you can see, but if you don't mess with it too much, it won't be a problem. Double jointed elbows, a wrist swivel, and a hinge, which is kind of tight. Get that down. He can bend that much forward, that far back. It can swivel just a bit, and he also has a waist swivel. His legs can go out about that far and that far back. As you can see, they're pretty tight. He can kick out that far. Double jointed knees. Oh, and there is a thigh swivel that's hidden because of the little pants sleeve, which is actually pretty clever. And his foot can go up, down, and there is a pivot. So it is a pretty good figure, I have to say, and a definite step up from the original best action figures. Because as we all know, those didn't have the best paint. They didn't necessarily come with a lot, which is fine since it's a $15 figure. But one thing people were concerned about was the paint and the articulation on some figures. Since, as far as I know, like the first few figures didn't have like an elbow swivel, so the arms could only go out. Well, the arms can only articulate at the elbow, so you can really like swivel them, which is kind of a problem for some figures. But like I said, this is a definite step up, and I'm really excited to see more of Loyal Subject's best action line, especially since there is another Aang that's going to be coming out hopefully soon, so I can't wait to see that. And here we have the last two main points of this video, the Dawson model Saitama and Genos. And it's actually a pretty funny story of how I got these two. I bought them from a Instagram user whose name I will put up on screen. He does like really cool action figure photography. I suggest you go follow him. And so he was selling these figures for a pretty good price. Both of them combined was $40, and for me, I've been wanting to get the Dawson model Genos and Saitama for a while now. I was also thinking of getting the Figma versions, but I decided to go with these since they're a bit more in scale with what I collect. These are more 1/10 scale. So I bought them from the guy, and they came broke. Both of them came broke in the shoulder, but I was okay with it because he did specify in the post that he made that the figures he was selling were broken, so it's not like he had ripped me off or anything, so it's fine. And that's mostly the reason I bought them, because they came with everything, nothing was loose. It's just that I had to find a way to fix both the shoulders, which was pretty simple to do, starting with Saitama. All I really did was replace the joint there, as you can see. It's a Figma joint that I just put into the socket there, and I thought this was going to be like a regular Figma style arm, but it is not. It actually has like this whole connection, as you can see. So it's not like Figma, and I had to do a bit more to get the arm in, especially the ball joints, since the original was still stuck in there. It took me a while to get it out, but I did, and it fits in pretty well, and it still articulates, as you can see. So that's pretty good. I was thinking of maybe painting the Figma joint to be yellow, but you're not really going to see it all that much, so I think it's fine. And another thing I did was replace the cape. And this is something that a lot of people have done with the Dawson model Saitama and the Figma Saitama. But I think I went a little above and beyond, as I will show, since I actually got rid of that whole connector piece, like cut it off, sanded the back down to make it smooth, and replaced it with this new cape that I made. I'm not sure if anybody else has done this, but yeah, I pretty much removed that whole connector piece, sanded it down, and used a little bit of acetone to make it smooth. And I'm really surprised of how good it looks. Even on camera here, you can see that pretty smooth for the most part. And as you can see, the cape is, of course, articulated. All I did was put a bendy wire in there. And for how I got the cape to stay, I actually used, I think it was a toothpick. You can't really see it since the cape is on there pretty tight, but I did put like a connector piece into the original holes where the cape, or the collar of the cape, originally was, and pretty much attached it to these little knob gem pieces, and then I painted them. I didn't know that the little parts here are supposed to be like more forward up on the cape, but it doesn't bother me too much, and it still looks pretty good. So yeah, that's all I really did for Saitama. I just had to replace that shoulder joint, and I decided to give him a new cape. And I'm really happy to have this guy. Let me put the cape down a bit so he doesn't knock anyone over. But for Genos, as you can see, there was a bit more that was done with him. So when it came to Genos, I thought it was going to be the same thing as the Saitama figure, but as it turns out, the original arms, actually I have them here, so give me a okay, so here's the original arm, the one that isn't broken, and as you can see, it has a somewhat specific shoulder joint that has this connecting piece that attaches the arm and the shoulder pad together. And so I'm not sure where I'm going to be able to find that specific shoulder piece. I'll probably ask like online if there's any place I can get one. So yeah, for the most part, I wasn't really going to be able to fix the shoulder anytime soon. So I did the next best thing and made my own pair of arms. And I'm really happy with how these came out. These were made from a bunch of pieces. The upper arm is made from a Halo figure. It was actually pretty proportional to how Genos' arms usually looks. The lower arm is made up of what's her name? Tracer's forearms from Overwatch, with a few Batman pieces sprinkled in. The ball joint is actually from a Power Rangers Legacy, like 7-inch figure, so there's that. And the hands come from a Cyborg and also an Iron Man. So I was able to give this guy two pairs of hands, which I'm really happy about. And then after like figuring out where all the pieces are gonna go, this is what I got. I'd say it looks pretty good. It doesn't look too off on Genos. It actually fits in pretty well. And spoilers, it kind of reminds me of his current set of arms, like the ones I believe he got from the Monster Associations, and they're like all bulky and spiked. I really like that look. But yeah, I just went with this look since it was pretty much a bunch of scrap pieces put together, and I say it came out pretty well. And they are pretty articulated for the most part. He's able to bend at the elbow. Sure, it isn't as much as, say, the original Dawson model, but it's pretty good. He has an elbow swivel, and he also has a bicep swivel up here. It's kind of tight, but you can kind of see it. So yeah, and he also has a previously mentioned ball joint. The paint is chipping there, but that's to be expected. I decided to go with a silver, black, and blue color scheme since I thought that looked pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of Cyborg from DC. And yeah, I say it came out pretty well. I also used a bit of a blue wash to make the metal look a bit more, I guess you could say, like worn out. And again, it just looks really cool. I'm just really happy with how these arms came out since, technically speaking, these are replacement arms. These are kind of like temporary until I could fix the original. But I could definitely see Genos like using these arms in the anime. These actually look pretty cool. But yeah, that is Genos' little upgrade since his original arms got broken. As we all know, that's what he tends to do. And that's going to be the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all the stuff I'm working on and the few figures that I've gotten. Like I said, I'm going to get back into more videos soon. I'm probably going to be doing another action figure comparison video, or maybe even another like what if this company made action figures, since I think that could work pretty well as a series as well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.